Happy Monday, ladies, and welcome to August. And thank you for joining us for the AIM Women's Mortgage Network Growth Series. This series is here for you to educate, inspire, and share your progress as we lift each other up to new levels. Before we get started, I want to encourage all of our members to invite other women in the wholesale channel to the Women's Mortgage Network because it's a great way to form relationships and continue to bring value as we grow our tribe. On today's episode, we have the one and only Jason Frazier from Mortgage X, and he is going to help us get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Jason, thank you so much for being with us. And first off, you look fabulous. So I have to start with that. So that's the first thing. All right. So Jason, listen, we know you are an absolute powerhouse when it comes to marketing and social media and digital marketing and branding, all of those things. But I think what I want to start with is that wasn't always the case. There was a pivotal moment or a starting point that kind of built all of this. So can we go back to understand, because I think we all need that moment where we decide, I'm in. There's no going back.
Gotcha. Well, first, Laura, thank you for that introduction, and thank you for having me. Greatly appreciate being here, and I hope I could give you guys some value. But yeah, so for me, it didn't really start for me as far as creating my own personal brand and really getting into the marketing of myself and marketing my company through myself until about 2016, about the beginning of 2016. And it started towards the end of 2015. It started as I was reading more, watching Gary Vaynerchuk. He was brought to my attention by a friend of mine. And so I was watching that. And then it wasn't until I actually saw him speak live at Social Media Marketing World in San Diego in, I think it was April, either late March or April of 2016. And he just blew me away. He stayed. What really solidified it for me is he stayed afterwards. He was the ending keynote, and he stayed after just to talk, everyone answering questions. So it was from that. It was literally I started mapping out what I was going to do on the plane ride home from San Diego to Oakland, and really just how I was going to do it, what that was going to look like, how I was going to use it to parlay, because for me, my company at the time, they didn't have any real presence. Yes, I mean, I helped them, on social media, I helped them with marketing and whatnot, but there was nobody outline. I mean, usually every company has somebody that's at conferences, maybe they're a thought leader and they're speaking or whatever. We didn't have anything. And our executive staff was on what I would call the veteran side of the industry. They've been there for a while. They weren't interested in doing that. They knew it was important, but no one was really geared to do that. So I took it upon myself to create my brand, which at the time I was the chief information officer. So I called myself the real estate CIO, just because I thought that sounded better than mortgage at the time. And also because I was doing stuff on the real estate side as well, as far as, marketing and branding and stuff. So I started that in 2016, and really it took me a couple of years to get to the point to where I was considered somewhat of a marketing expert or a technology thought leader or anything, to where I was being asked to speak at, on big stages and doing a lot of stuff. So it took a couple of years, but I'll tell you one thing, it's definitely been the best thing that I've ever done. I would not be in the position if it wasn't for that conference. I truly believe, in meeting Gary and talking with him, I truly believe I wouldn't be in the position that I was today.
So you've touched on a couple of things there. Okay. So one big point is it wasn't instant. It wasn't like you got on a plane and you wrote down a plan and then you threw it out there and voila, within a week, within a month, magic just started to happen. It doesn't work that way. And I think that's one of, especially mortgage professionals, we kind of have ADD and we want everything to happen now, and we want it to be instant. So what is the advice for that in terms of, sticking with it or the consistency? And then follow-up question, we're in the middle of a pandemic.
Yep.
And people right now, they're not sure what to post, how they should post. Should they comment? People are really uneasy right now. So 2 pieces. One, what's this momentum and building momentum into consistency? And 2, let's apply it to right now.
Yeah, so I think that the first question is kind of a two-parter. The first one is you got to really dig deep and understand why you haven't done it up to this point. Like, what's holding you back? You really got to answer that question, and it's different for everybody. And so what I do is when I challenge people on this is say, look, I'm the perfect example. I am an extreme introvert. Every time I say that, people, just because I do events, because I speak on stage, everyone's like, or people that I'm comfortable with, they may say like, dude, there's no way you're an introvert. I am. I will tell you the 15 minutes up to me being on stage is probably one of the worst things ever in my life. Every single time, it just is. I have anxiety. I hate it. Being on stage and afterwards, love it. Love that feeling. Now for me, and then also another thing is understanding is like the people like say, hey, I don't like the way I look. You know, I'm overweight or whatever it happens to be. Hey, this guy right here, like like the joke I like to say is like Magic Mike isn't going to cast me in their next movie, right? Like I'm, it's you have to decide whether you want to play at that level or not. And my yearning to play the game, to be a speaker, to be a thought leader, outweighed my fears and outweighed the insecurities that I had and things of that nature. That was stopping me from being on video because I didn't like the way that I sounded. I didn't like the way that I looked. I still don't. But at the same time, I do it pretty much every single day, right? Whether it's social media or video. So you got to find what is stopping you from doing it, and then get past that roadblock. And don't say it's time, right? Like, because I'm sorry, and I know especially now with originators being especially busy, and you are. But I've dealt with people that are way busier than any of us will ever even come close to thinking that we're busy, doing a lot of different things, and they're able to do these things without any assistance, without any help from external agency. Everyone can do it. Everyone has 60 to 90 seconds in their day to talk on video. Everyone does. I'm sorry, but everyone does. So you got to find a way to get rid of the excuses. Now, as far as where you're starting, is its consistency. So for me at the time, 2016, the hot channel was Snapchat. So that's actually where I built my entire brand off of engaging and talking with people on Snapchat. People I still am friends with today, and people that I've done business with, people I've had connections with, was on Snapchat. And then I did, Facebook Lives, and I did, I even did Periscope because that was a thing back then. Instagram wasn't Instagram of today, so they didn't have stories or anything like that, but it was Snapchat, it was Facebook, LinkedIn wasn't anything. So really that's how I built my brand and connect with people. But it was consistency because I did it every single day. There would be times when I had a project and I was working late, and I'd come in the office around 7 p.m. and I was going to work until probably about 3 or 4 a.m. And so I'd actually snap that entire night. I was doing these one campaigns, and I just had a camera that was live on me doing that. And literally it was probably like 20 or 30 people stayed on that live throughout the night while I was just working, right? And then I would talk and talk about what I was doing. And a lot of people, it's the behind the scenes that matters, right? You just got to be real and authentic. And I know it's an overdone word by now, but the problem is people are trying to make authenticity. You can't make authenticity. It is who you are. But it's being consistent. And then the more that people see you, the more it resonates, the more they're going to watch you. Now, yes, you have to be talking about something that's going to be interesting. Mm-hmm. You got to be somewhat of an entertaining to some people, right? Now, not everyone. There's plenty of people that don't like my content. There's plenty of people that don't like my videos. That's fine. But then I know who I am and I know who I'm not. So I'm going to attract the people that I want to attract and repel the people that I want to repel. It's just that simple. And so you can't worry about that. You can't worry about people. You're going, especially, and look, we're in a women's group. I'm just going to be real with you. I do not envy any woman at all on social media these days, right? And Instagram and stuff. I've seen the screenshots from the DMs. I've seen the comments online. I've seen it. It sucks for you, and I'm sorry to see that. But you got to understand that's just the way it's going to be. People on YouTube, they're going to criticize you. People are going to talk about what you're wearing. People are going to talk about how you look. People are going to troll. That's what's going to happen. But the thing is, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter, because one thing, and Gary has talked about this, but one thing you understand, those people that do that, this is one thing you need to understand. Their life is way worse than yours.
Right.
It just is. And that's a fact. So just think about that, is that their life is way worse than yours. So understand that, right? And then there's some people that are like the hug your hater type of stuff. To me, the best thing you could do is completely just they don't exist, right? Like anyone that is in my sphere that is, part of my people, right? Like all of you, like my tribe, those are my people. Anyone that's outside of that doesn't breathe to me. They don't exist. They're nothing. And so, yes, it may sound a little callous, but at the same time, there is zero benefit from worrying or thinking about what other people are thinking, especially when they're not part of your group. There's just zero value, right? And so I think as loan officers, and especially mortgage professionals, understand that we deal in value, right? That's important to us. So understand is you need to put a premium on value and pay no mind to anything that's zero value. And I know it's easy for me to say, but I'm saying I've gone through it, right? I've done that. I've had the messages, I've had the emails, and same with like people don't like a podcast episode or whatever. I get that, but at the same time, I don't care. I just don't, because they don't mean anything to me, literally and figuratively. They just don't. And so just don't worry about that stuff. And that's what holds people back, along with not looking on video. But the key is just to be very, very, very consistent and keep doing it day after day after day. I did it without any training, any other than just books and watching Gary Vaynerchuk, trying to emulate some people, trying to be myself, but trying to use them as a platform and a foundation to build off of. But that's how I did it. And, I'll say it. And look, Gary Vaynerchuk has been a mentor from afar. Obviously, we don't sound like we text or call or anything, but he's been someone that's been instrumental in my career in getting to where I want to do. And that all came together when I was asked to speak at his event, his personal event, and got to hang out with him, behind stage and stuff like that. And, and I have sent him an email and got a response back every now and then. But the point is that none of that would have happened. None of the people that I've met, the stages that I've talked on, none of anything would have happened had I not taken that chance, right? And that's just not with video. That's just with anything. Right. So you just got to find ways to get past those and understand. And this is totally going to be complete, like blue sky, rah stuff. But understand, your time is limited on this planet. You got to decide whatever day it is. It could be today, it could be tomorrow. You got to, at some point, you got to look yourself in the mirror and decide, what am I doing? Am I being the best that I could be? Am I doing everything that I could do? Am I going to be happy if I died tomorrow? What does today look like? What does my last week look like? Why not? Like, if you decided to do this and decide to be a legacy in this business and do everything you can, why not be the best out of it? I don't understand why anyone that wouldn't want to be the best.
And Jason, you're speaking my language now, because I believe exactly the same thing. And the whole thing is that we also need them. Yeah. We need Jason to be the best Jason. We need Laura to be the best Laura. And the thing is that a lot of times people compare to each other, right? Or to others. And we think, well, I can't be Jason, or I can't be Laura. Well, we actually don't want you to be Jason or Laura. We want you to be whoever you are. And social media gives you a platform for your prospects, for your past clients, for all of your partners to get to see the best you. Yep. And that's the beauty of social, is that not only do you get business out of it, and not only will it be the future of everything within our industry, but you also get to be the best you. And there's no one better than you.
No, absolutely. And it goes back to just being who you are, because that's who you are when you're with your clients or with anybody else. Yeah. I assume you are who you are, right? Now, obviously, you may do things a little bit more on the professional level, right? But that's going to create commonality. That's going to attract people because they don't see the unpolished. I'll tell you one thing: consumers as a whole are just sick and tired of the brand polished fake nonsense. We all are. Right? So just understand that's your power, being who you are, messing up, screwing up on a live video. That's fun. People enjoy that. People engage with that. So just don't worry about that. And to the second part of the question about what do we do right about today is like, and this is something I've talked a lot about, did an episode on this about marketing in times of crisis. And this is what happens, and what I've seen happen with a lot of people is people just disappear. They go away because either they're worried. I mean, in the beginning, it was understandable because no one knew what was happening, right? And everyone was afraid or whatever. But then all of a sudden, just like at anything, you start, taking sides, decisive, mask, no mask, and all the other stuff, all of the stuff above, it becomes polarized, and then you worry about offending people and whatnot. And I'm just going to say is, like, one of the things that I put out there was, don't social distance your business, right? You got to be out there. There is a vacuum, right? There's a complete vacuum, and so you need to fill that void with positivity, right? Like, just talk about, hey, today was a challenge, like, I know, like, hey, let's say you take the the family, and it's tough, right? Because look, our industry has not been hit that hard as far as, like, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people out of work, right? That has not happened to our industry, right? Yes, some companies have fared better than others, but as a whole, we're pretty strong, right? So people are talking about, like, yeah, did a ton of volume, like my most ever, and so our family went to to Hawaii or wherever, right? Or a lake and stuff. Don't worry about that. Be real and just say, like, yeah, this week was a grind and I'm worried about all this other stuff, but all of us need to unwind. All of us need to relax. You gotta put a little bit of honesty behind what you're talking about and what you're putting out there, especially in times of crisis, because anyone and everyone's looking for something to consume. Yeah. And why should it not be you and you talking about something positive? And I'll tell you right now, the absolute key for your marketing right now should be investing your time into your local community, as far as talking about small businesses, talking about where families that may not be doing so well, where their kids could eat free, or people that are running specials, or people, kids that don't eat lunch, or whatever, school programs, or delivering pizzas to first responders, or something like. There's, especially when we're, as a whole of an industry, doing really well and making more money than we've ever made. Like, it's just a good thing to do, to give back, right? Be part of that community. Like JP, you see JP doing his hot dog stands where he says, hey, no strings attached. I got food here. If you're hungry or whatever, just come by and do that, right? There should be more of that, and put that out there. And yes, you're going to have, going back to the haters, you're going to have people like, oh, you're just taking advantage of the attention. It's like, no, you're doing a good thing. And guess what? I'll tell you right now, if truly, and I've seen it and I've experienced this, this is why it's kind of hard for me to talk about, but I've seen it. And those families that are literally have 2 weeks and $60 in their bank account until the next paycheck or something else is happening, and it's tough, those families aren't going to give a crap what your intentions are. And I'm not saying you have bad intentions, but them being able to take their kids' minds off something, to feed their family, to do these things, they're not going to give a crap about that. So don't worry about any of that stuff. But that's to me is what you should be doing in times of crisis. Yes, continuing saying, hey, let's talk about what people's situations are. Now is a great time to refinance, not just because rates are low, but you can do X, Y, and Z to help your current situation, whatever that happens to be, or use that situation. And then, are you helping a family member out because they got laid off? Or you're helping out with medical bills with other people? Refinance your house. And this is the reason why. And I'm going to be the person to do that, knowing that what your goal is with the refinance, and knowing that it has nothing to do with just like me getting a commission check. It has everything to do with helping you, right? And so that's the type of marketing, and telling stories. Everybody should be telling stories, especially if you come across a situation that I just mentioned, to where you refinance someone because maybe they decided against doing the forbearance, but they ran up some credit card debt or some other things. And so the refinance is helping them get out of the debt they've had the last 3 months, because maybe they got rehired and maybe they are making their payments and everything else. You need to tell the stories of the real people. If you tell the stories of people, someone's gonna be like, I relate to that. I'm in that situation. Or, hey, my Aunt Linda's in that situation. They should talk to Laura. Or, my cousin James, he's in that situation. They should talk to Laura. That's the silver bullet, right? Is focus on your community and tell stories of the people that you're helping, their real life stories. You don't have to mention their names. Right. You don't have to get into specifics, right? Protect their privacy. Or maybe they want to talk about that because they want others to understand, like, hey, I didn't think I could refi because my credit was bad. Well, maybe your credit wasn't. Maybe you're just 1 point away, or maybe you're right in the wheelhouse and you just didn't know it. And you thought you needed a 700 and a 680 was fine, right? So that's the thing, is tell these stories. And that's what's going to engage people. That's what's going to attract people, because we need, especially in our industry, because our industry has a black eye still from what happened in the financial crisis. And of course, as soon as, people were talking about bailing out servicers and mortgage companies and stuff like that, all of that just came back up to the head. So we don't have the greatest perception. but now we can show that we are good stewards of our community, that we are good leaders in our community, helping people where we can and telling the stories of the people that we helped. It's not just about making money. It's about changing lives and understanding that sometimes this could be the foundation of creating generational wealth for a family that's never owned a house in any form or fashion, in anywhere down the line in their family, but now they have, and now their kids got a better place. There's so many great stories out there, so many ways that we could touch with emotion and connect with emotion. That's where we should be marketing in the times of crisis, not throwing out rates as just a whole, Let
me ask you, how often should you be posting, or should it just be a matter of, okay, I have a story, I helped the Smith family today, and you know what, I want to share this story, which you're 100% correct. I mean, if we go into our communities and the families that we're helping every single day, we're helping these different families and just speak from the heart. That's the best thing that we can do. So should it just be when we have a story, that's a good time? Should we get into a consistency that we do it on a regular basis? What's your recommendation?
Yeah, so there's two things there. One is look, I decided a long time ago to not play to the algorithms. If I have a piece of content that I want to put out there, now this is me. I just put it out there. That's the way social media used to be. You had something to say, you said it, right? Now everyone's waiting for the algorithm, the perfect time, the perfect date. You want to make sure that the moons are in alignment and your sign is in, I don't know, anything, zodiac or whatever, right? Everyone's waiting for those perfect times so people will see that. Now there's times and places for that, right? But here's the thing. If you want people to see your content, pay for it. Pay for it, running ad for them to see that piece of content. Don't try to play the algorithm game and change and delete and all that other stuff. Now, yes, there are times, there's best practices, type of content to post, there's all of that. Yes, you should do that when you truly need to. But other than that, be who you are. If it's 8 o'clock at night, but for you, it's like 4 o'clock during the day is the best time to post. But it's 8 o'clock, you just had a great story, you feel it, touch it. Trust me, people will share it, people will see it. Don't add calls to action to those types of posts.
Right.
Don't say, they'll get it, right? They'll get it. Like, just say, like, I love help. You just talk about how you love helping people and do that stuff, right? You don't need to add a call to action, right? Now, the second part of that is that all of you, and you guys are probably sick of hearing me, anyone that's been around me since Atlantic City at the Broker All-Stars event where I talked about the $2 a day strategy, that's even more important today, right? Like, I'll tell you right now, if you are not spending at least $2 a day on Facebook every single day to run ads about your community, awareness ads about who you are, you're really missing the boat, because there's so many things or so much attention. Everyone's on social media now because that's where a lot of people are getting their news as the primary source. A lot of people are home, remote work. So when you're not in the office, you tend to, maybe be on your, your device a little bit more and on Facebook a little bit more, right? And then not only that, but we're always using that for business anyway, right? So run $2 a day strategy, and that's where you're doing it every single day. People are seeing that every single day where you're doing a video. Maybe it's one of your stories that you're running an ad on for $2 a day for a month or for a week or for a couple weeks. All right. And then you can just keep feeding little things in there. That is going to do so much for your business, especially right now, especially if you keep it towards like, hey, right now. So for example, there's people in, I'm in the Salt Lake area of Utah. It's hot. It's been it's the last 3 days has been in the hundreds, right? There's some people that have trouble, cooling their house. They don't have AC, or they don't want to pay the bill. So they're struggling. So there's cooling centers that have been opened up. Obviously you have to wear a mask and social distance, but there's cooling centers for people that could just come in and cool down for a while, right? Talk about that. Talk about things that are actually going to be helpful for people, that people are actually going to be interested in, whatever it happens to be. Right. And it could be about like maybe you're in a sports town and people are like, hey, what is my local sports team? How are they handling COVID or whatever? Or, but the one thing I'll say is try to stay away from the polarizing. Right now, you got to be true to yourself. If you really are one way or another on whatever side or whatever one of the polarizing topics, because there's plenty to choose from right now. If you happen to be on that, just be careful, knowing that that's going to create division. But if your audience is one way or another, and that's who your customer base is, then don't worry about it, right? But just go that with your eyes wide open, because I have seen some very, very cringe-worthy posts by some some mortgage professionals and how they're approaching this and how they're approaching COVID and things of that nature. And I get it, right? But just be very, very careful because you just don't know what's happening in other people's lives with this. And even though we may feel that the media has overblown it and that the political climate has overblown the fear piece of it. I'm not saying the effects and that people, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like the fear piece of it, because that's where media and political, and look, I've worked on presidential campaigns. I've worked with people, including Jack Kemp, who is the former presidential candidate. I've been in that world before. I'll tell you right now, fear is what sells. And so we could talk about that, but notice that there is real life struggle and concern and, behind that, and death. And so just be careful when you're putting that content out, because in times of crisis, you don't want to be seen as someone that's trying to take advantage of the situation. You don't want to be seen as someone that seems completely oblivious to the suffering that's happening. And it doesn't even have to be COVID. It could be people losing their jobs, losing their house, not getting their cars repossessed. It's a real time right now. Like, don't get me wrong. Be that voice. There's going to be zero negativity, and there's going to be zero downside for you being a positive voice on social media right now. There's only going to be upside. Anyone that has a negative response to you being positive, they got way bigger issues than anything is going on right now. So you being positive, you putting out information that serves the community is going to be, it's going to be like manna from heaven, because that's not what we're getting for the most part out there. So be that positive voice. There's zero downside, and there's only going to be upside for your business.
I love it. All right. This has been awesome. And at the end of every interview, we actually do a challenge. And listening to you speak about making a video in regards to a story related to, somebody that you helped, a family that you helped. Let's make that the challenge for this week. So within the Women's Mortgage Network, that's what we want everyone to do this week. Share that story. Put it within our group so that we can see and support and help each other grow our skills of sharing our stories. So Jason, I love that advice. This has been absolutely incredible. You provided such value as always. So thank you for being with us this week. And ladies, that's what we're looking to do. And to let you know who's coming up next week, we actually have a panel discussion with 3 Women's Mortgage Network members. Melanie Wahlberg, Jamie Kavanaugh, and Lisa Lund will be joining me as we tackle how to have a high-performing career and be an awesome mom. All right, ladies, thank you so much. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for having me.